Hello again, everyone. Hope you're all doing okay. I'm back today to show you another creation, another idea. There's actually two this time that are kind of linked because one of them is using some paints, but if you don't have paints, I'm going to show you an alternative way of doing it using color pencils. So I'm just going to go to my share screen here and over here. There we go. And right, there we go. Right, so today this was inspired from when we had snow a couple of weeks ago, a few weeks ago now. And this is a photo that I actually took from up near Ambarrow Woods. So it just reminded me of something similar that we've done in the club a couple of times over the years. So I've called this one Winter Trees, just to give it a nice wintry topic. So this one, to do this one, I started off and I used a big sheet of A3 card, but you can do it whatever size you want. It doesn't matter. You can do A3 or A4. And I used mine. This is called portrait when it goes up like this, when the card's going that way, just so that you can get the length of the trees in. But if you want to do it the other way, landscape, and get shorter trees, that's also fine. But when we go through this, you'll see why I've given it more length. So how I started off was drawing a line about a third of the way down your page over here. Sorry, up from your page, 2/3 down. And then I just found something round that I traced over. You don't have to trace around something. I just wanted to get a pretty nice circle, but you can freehand draw it. It's fine. That's going to be the moon. And just to add some interest, I put mine off the center. It's not right in the middle, but you can put it wherever you like. So that's just to start off your creation. Draw those two things. And then the next step that you do is just using now your freehand, draw rings round that moon shape that you've drawn. And you need about 8 of them, I reckon, because then we're going to put some color into those, and it's going to be like rings going around the moon. We're going to be talking about how to make different colors as well. So now that you're happy with that, you can see I've left a big area here. I haven't carried on with the circles. This is just going to end up being my dark color. So you don't have to go all the way up to the edge of your line, your straight line here. You can stop wherever you like. That's where I decided to stop. So that's your basic now of your outline. And then I got some paints out. I'm lucky I've got some palettes here, but you can use little tubs of yogurts, whatever, or a plate maybe, or some little saucers, whatever you're allowed to use in the house if you've got some paints. As I mentioned, I'll explain how to do it if you don't have paints as well. On the left-hand side here, you can see I've used some blue. You can use any color you want. I just wanted to give it a wintry feel, so that's why I've used the blue. That's the same color blue in each of these 3 little places here. And then in the top one, I've added a little bit of black. You don't need a lot of black paint because a little bit of black paint goes a long way. And then down here, I forgot to take my photo before I started to mix. This was just pure white paint. So you only need 3 colors, a pure color that you have, a black and some white. So that's just then, there we go. So black, white with some pure color. Now, when you use your white paint, I'll explain how to use that in a little bit here. So when you start, you need to start, this is creating tints. When you add white to a pure color, it makes something called a tint. And when you start your pure color, leave a few of these rings empty. I left 3 because that kind of works out quite nicely. So in your 4th ring, start with your pure blue color, nothing else on your paintbrush, just that pure color that you've chosen. In my case, I chose blue. You can have orange, green, red, whatever you like. So start with just that there. And then one thing I forgot to mention is try and keep your spaces of your rings kind of the same. They don't have to be exact to the millimeter, but it just gives a more effective look. You can make them space out if you want to as well. It's up to you. So once you've painted in this pure color here, then you have to do your tints. So the ring that you're going to paint next is the one after the moon. So keep your moon, the color of the paper, pure white. And then in this ring here, you're going to paint your first tint. Now to make your tint, you need to add a little bit of the blue paint into the white paint, which is what you saw on that last slide, where I'd forgotten to take my photo of just the three colors. If you do it the other way around, if you add white into your blue paint, you're going to use a lot of white paint because it takes a lot to make a difference. So just literally get a little bit of blue on your brush and put it into your white paint and mix it in. And you'll see it'll just give it that little off-white color, just a very pale. You can see how pale my first color is here. So just start there. And then once you've painted your first circle, add a little bit more blue into your white paint. And you'll see you'll start to get very gradually the colors starting to go a little bit darker until they almost reach the pure color over here. So I did 3, but you can do more or less. It's up to you. The more you do and the more gradual you add your color, the bigger the effect will be. So this is what it looks like when you've just done how many I've done. So that's how you create tints. So now the next section that you have to work on is you create the shades. Now shade is what a color is called if you have a pure color like my blue and you put black into the blue, or black into a pure color makes a shade. So I've only done 2. You can see here, this is my pure color. And then what you have to do is you have to add a small amount of black paint into your blue. So it's the reverse of what you've done with the white. Only because if you start adding your pure color into the black paint, you're going to use a lot of your pure color. So these are just the best ways to make these tints and shades. So add a little bit of black, just the tiniest amount, into your blue pure color, and you'll get the next color done. You can see here it's gone into this color. This is the next shade. Make sure between doing these colors, your tints, and changing and making your shades, you wash your brush, because otherwise you'll be adding gray, and that makes a difference. It makes starts to make your color a little bit dirty. So these are just making pure tints and pure shades. Once you start adding gray, it's a whole different thing. So that's how you get your effect of the moon shading out into the night sky. So that is, and as you can see, I wobbled my line here. I didn't want my snow line to be a straight line, so I've actually gone a bit wobbly here. Depends what effect you want. So that is how you create your shades. Now I left that to one side to keep dry, and I was lucky I had some black paper, which I tore. I like to tear up paper because it gives this really nice rough edge, and you can see you actually get 2 different colors, so which is quite effective. If you don't have that, you can do a different method, which I'll show you in a minute. But this I used, and I placed them on my dry painting with the tints and the shades of the moon coming out. And I made some trees. They're meant to be depicting some trees. And then I tore small pieces and just kept adding them to make little branches. And then you end up having like a winter tree effect, because all the trees have lost, not all of them, but these trees have lost all their leaves in the winter time. Some trees keep their leaves, don't they? But this is a different look. So once you're happy with how you've got your trees placed and you've stuck them down with some glue and you've got little branches, if you can notice here at the bottom on the white area of the card, I've taken just a normal pencil that you write with, and I've shaded in some shadows. So as though the moon is shining and the shadows are coming off the trees here. You can notice how they're coming off in different ways, because if the moon's over here, the shadow of the tree here is going to go that direction, and the shadows of these trees are going to go in that direction because the source of light is in one place. That just makes it look more effective. So that is how I made that picture there. Then I decided I wanted to add a little creature in, because I like doing small animals. I love painting animals. So I drew, you can see how small this is because there's the pencil and the 2 pens I used. I used a permanent marker and a fine liner. And I just drew a little fox. It's quite small, and I cut him out because then I couldn't really decide where I wanted him, which is why I didn't draw it straight onto this artwork. But that's up to you. If you're decisive and you want to know where it goes, and you know where it goes, you can just put it there. I wanted to have a play around, so I kind of just made him jump about the page a bit, placed him in different places. And then I finally, oh, that's the combination of all the different places that I decided. And I quite liked the way that he was next to that tree, because then he makes the shadow come over there. So I gave him a shadow as well. Don't forget to add a shadow to your little creature. You can do whatever creature you want, a squirrel, a bunny, a dog, cat, whatever. I quite like the contrast of the orange fox with the other colors. So that is how you can make this winter tree picture using paints and paper. You could even paint those trees in with your pure black paint, because if you've made this with your paints and you've done your shades and your tints, you can paint black trees in. That's also a really good solution. It just depends if you want to mix up your media. I quite like doing that for contrast. But if you don't have any paints, if you have color pencils, you can do the same kind of effect. So this is a piece of A4 card, and I've done the same thing. I've drawn a wobbly line about a third of the way up your page, and then I've got a little round bowl and I've drawn round it. And then I've started with a light color blue. Again, you can do this in different shades of whatever color you want, but try and stick to the same color if you want to do this effect. And then just loosely go around your white moon and keep on going with the different colors that you have. And then you've got a similar effect to what I got with the paints, because I've got some black over here. So you shade out from the bright color around the moon coming out. And that then is all with color pencils. Then I've done a finer tree here. That's using my fine black pen. So any black pen that you have, I've drawn a little tree, which is very different looking to the ones that I used with the torn paper, because you're doing pen, you can get some nice fine lines in there for the details in the branches. And as you can see on the snow, I roughly sketched in a shadow coming off this tree. And I also put a creature in this one, a little bunny. I didn't draw this like the fox, I did a silhouette, which is what you call something if you can just see the shadow against the light at the back. And he's also got a little shadow coming off him. When the shadow comes off, I've made it long, just to give it that effect. But you can do it however you like. So that is now both of the pictures side by side, one using paint, one using color pencils. And hopefully you can be inspired to go and make a winter tree picture all of your own, using these ideas, putting them together, or maybe it's made you think of something else. But this is now how I decided to do some artwork inspired by winter trees. I will show you, this is the A3, oh, going the wrong way, Sean, that way, oh my gosh, that way there. So I use big card because I have some nice big A3 in the house with a little fox. That's then that picture. You can see the colors are actually quite bright. And then the smaller one using color pencils. I really don't get that. There we go. That's also quite bright as well. That's the one with the color pencils and the pen. So that's only using two different things to make your awesome winter pictures. So hopefully you've been inspired to make something, and if not, if you enjoyed that, that's fabulous. And I will come back at another time and show you a new creation. Okay, everybody, take care and keep well. Okay, bye.